And so I did, and I went downstairs and did some stuff. And then I came back up, and the dough was like really thick. It was like really a dense dough. And my mixer was literally smoking. What's up, y'all? I'm back in the kitchen today. I started filming this video last night, but some things happened that I'll inform you of, which is why we're making bagels in the daytime. So, this video is about making sourdough bagels, cheesy ones, because those are my favorite, and I think Jonathan likes them too. I think. First thing that happened yesterday was I got my starter out of the fridge, scooped out a little bit, fed it, and then I fed it again at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then my oven is a double oven, so it has a top and a bottom. And I put my fed starter in the top oven with it off, like there was no heat. And then we made pizza for dinner last night. And I always cook my pizza in the bottom oven at 525 degrees. And I did check my starter a couple times, like in the process of this, and it was fine. Like I could touch it, it wasn't that hot. It was fine, it was just warm. So then we took Calvin for a walk, and I came back and I got my starter out, and I baked it. It was like a freaking muffin, that my starter in my weck jar. It was like a muffin. So then I decided, okay, well, I can still make my bagel dough tonight. I can still do it. So I got more starter out of the fridge, fed it, and then, I don't know, 4 hours later, I was like, okay, I'm gonna film the video. It's nighttime, but I'm gonna film the video, because normally you would make bagel dough at night, let it sit overnight on the counter, and then finish up in the morning and have fresh bagels for breakfast. Well, sometimes I'm dumb. And I was doing my dough, and Jonathan had specifically said a couple weeks ago that he wanted like cheese in the dough. So I just like put the cheese in the dough, and as soon as I do it, as soon as I stir it up, I think to myself, you don't want to do this. You have to let this sit out on the counter for 12 hours with cheese in the dough. So if you see where I'm going here, I ruined my dough last night. So I then got some more starter out of the fridge, fed it, let it sit overnight on the counter, not in the oven. And I made my bagel dough this morning, which is what you're gonna see after this, I think, how I'm editing it, I don't know. You'll see how I make my dough. And like I said, ideally you would make your dough at night, let it sit out on the counter overnight, make your bagels in the morning. But I made my dough this morning, and I'm letting it sit out on the counter. Oh, it's not on the counter. It's on the floor in the sun, so it's a little warm. And I'm gonna make my bagels tonight, but that's okay. We'll have bagels in the morning. Anyway, I just thought I would tell you all that story. And if you've made it this far, maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like, maybe consider liking my video, making this recipe. It's a really good one. Homemade bagels are definitely like top 2 favorite things to make with sourdough. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking now and show you guys how to actually do these bagels, and we'll just get on with the video. All right, thanks for listening to me yap. It's a good experience. Don't do what I did. Don't make your sourdough starter into a muffin. And yeah, let's go make some bagels. All right, y'all. Because yours truly messed up last night with the bagel situation, we are starting to make bagels in the morning, but that's okay. So I have 255 grams of water in this. It's my mixing bowl for my stand mixer, and I'm going to add 100 grams of active starter. Okay, and then to that I'm going to add 40 grams of honey. Okay, And then to that, I'm going to add 10 grams of fine salt. And I'm going to mix this all together, and then we'll add our flour. Now I'm going to add 500 grams of flour, and I'm going to do that off camera because no one really wants to watch me just dump flour in here. So I'll be right back. Okay, now that I have my 500 grams of flour added, I'm going to mix it up with either this dough hook or your hands. And then I'm going to put it on my mixer with the dough hook on and set it on its lowest setting on the stand mixer for 6 to 8 minutes. All right, it has been about 7 minutes. So what I'm going to do is take this off of the dough hook. And ideally, you would make this dough at night and then let it rest overnight on your counter. And then do your bagels the next morning. But as you will hear, or have already heard, I'm not sure the order of which I'm doing things. You'll hear how I messed up last night twice. And the reason I'm doing it this morning. So anyways, I'm going to let this sit on my counter covered with this plate for about 8 to 9 hours. So it's just going to sit here. And then we'll be back later tonight and actually make these bagels. All right? See you guys. Okay, so it's been 8 hours and this is what the dough looks like. I think it looks pretty good. What I think I'm gonna do is add my cheese right now and kind of fold it in. I shredded this last night and I'm glad I saved some before I just dumped it into my dough that I had to throw away. So I think I'm just gonna like fold it in, maybe, I don't know. Yeah. The next thing I'm going to do after this is dump it out on my counter and divide it into 8 separate pieces. Alright, now that they are 8 pieces, whatever. What I like to do is kind of flatten it and fold them over like that and then roll it and kind of make it into a ball. And then take whatever finger you want and make a hole. And that's how we make our bagel shape. And I'm just gonna put it on my baking sheet over here with parchment paper on it. And I'm gonna do this to all 8 of them. If you can see. I'm gonna do it to all 8 of them. And then I'm gonna put these covered like in my oven off or on the counter if you want for like an hour and let them kind of puff up. So I'm gonna roll these out into bagels and cover them up, let them sit for an hour, and I'll be back. Alright, so I have 6 cups of water in this pot with 1 tablespoon of sugar. And my bagels have been sitting out and they got puffy, so that's good, for it's been a little over an hour. So, as you can see, let me see if you guys can tell, some of them don't have big holes, so I've just been going through and like stretching them out to have larger holes. The next thing we're gonna do is take these guys. I think I'm gonna work with 4 at a time You drop them in your boiling water and you do 2 minutes per side, so 4 minutes total. I'm not even gonna set a timer. I just can see that my clock says 7 o'clock. So at 7:02, we'll flip them over, do another 2 minutes. All right, it's been 2 minutes. I'm gonna flip them, do another 2 minutes. And then I also have my oven preheating to 425 degrees. So another 2 minutes on that side. All right, I'm gonna do those for like 15 minutes. I'm gonna take them out and put some more cheese on the top and then do them for about 3 more minutes after that. All right, these are not done yet, but I am gonna take the cheese that I have and put them on here. Put it on here. So this is a cheese I like to use. Obviously, not everyone has Trader Joe's around them, so you can use cheddar, you can use any Asiago, whatever, any kind of cheese you want to go on the top. By all means, go for it. I think I'm gonna make all of these cheese because it's just what I want to do. So I'm gonna add cheese to the tops of these, and it won't stick very well. But I don't like when the cheese like burns onto it, so that's why I do it in the last like 5 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and put cheese on the rest of these and then put them back in the oven for probably another 3 or 4 minutes. I'm gonna let these cool. I'm not gonna taste one tonight because first of all, I know they're good. Second of all, they're really hot, and it's also like 8 o'clock and I need to get to editing this video for tomorrow. So yeah, they look great. Super, super good. The cheese ones are definitely my favorite. Anyways, hang on. Let me show you my face. All right, the light is terrible in here because it's dark. Like I said, it's like 8 o'clock at night. I gotta get going editing this video to get out tomorrow, but I'm super excited for these bagels. They're like my absolute favorite. You can add whatever you want to them. If you want raisins in them, put raisins in them. Cinnamon sugar topping, you can add a cinnamon sugar topping. That's fantastic. If you have everything but the bagel seasoning, I know Trader Joe sells it. I think there's like other places that sell a very similar seasoning. You could put that on these. You could go plain. Blueberries, I've never tried, but I'm sure that that's fantastic. Anyway, yeah, I'm just rambling now, but the cheese is definitely my favorite. I really like it with garden veggie cream cheese. That is like super good. You can freeze these. What I would do is wrap them in saran wrap and then put them in some kind of like freezer bag or whatever individually, like wrap them in plastic wrap individually and then put them in a freezer bag or some other kind of freezer safe container. And they freeze really well. I probably will end up doing that. These stay in the fridge, not in the fridge. Don't put them in the fridge. They get hard. Don't put them in the fridge. They should stay good for about 3 or 4 days, depending on the heat temperature of your kitchen. Anyway, this video is long enough, I'm sure. So with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a fantastic day doing whatever you're doing. And like I said, see you in the next one. Bye.